Introducing Siegelt, the world-class waterproofing membrane-based technology, now in India.
The purpose of this video is to assist you with the suggested installation of the sheet membrane system, including the sealing tapes, preformed corners, and wall and floor collars. First, the surface must be prepared. Remove all dirt and debris. It may be necessary to apply a primer. It is recommended to measure and cut all of the membrane sections and sealing tape strips to the proper size before mixing the thin set. This will allow for an easy pace during the installation. Cutting holes for pipe penetrations may be necessary. To create the watertight system, the installation process will rely on the layering of components. Therefore, it's always best to start with the corners. Apply thin-set mortar or other suitable tile adhesive with a 1/4 inch square notched trowel. Press the preformed corner firmly into the adhesive. Remove any trapped air and guarantee full adhesion to the material by spreading the adhesive from the inside out using a trowel or straight edge with rounded corners. Continue with thin set along the wall from the corner outward for the first strip of joint sealing tape. It is recommended to apply a waterproof liquid sealant to any areas that will overlap. In these critical areas, such as seams, corners or other transitions, the coating and overlap should be a minimum of 2 inches or 5 centimeters. This is very important and will ensure the system is waterproof at these critical points. Lay the tape and press it into place. If you need to adjust the position of the tape, it will be possible to do so. Squeeze out the excessive adhesive and sealant with the trowel. Be certain to remove all air pockets. If the glue is spread smoothly, then you will have airtight adhesion with the tape. Lay the sealing tape from the corner, smoothing it out and pressing it into the thin set. Be careful not to damage the tape with the sharp edges of the trowel. For any sections where 2 strips of joint sealing tape will be joined, be certain to overlap the material by 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Continue with these steps around the perimeter of your installation. Again, remember to apply liquid sealant for the overlapping area on the corner. Place the sealing tape and work it into the adhesive from the middle to the edges. In the corner, the sealing tapes should never overlap. Carefully install the sealing tapes to avoid stacking them. Now, apply the adhesive for the vertical sealing tape. Remember to coat the corner with liquid sealant. The vertical piece will also overlap the top portion of the corner. Leave a distance of about 1/4 inch from the floor and work the tape starting from the corner up the wall. This will allow for the removal of excess material and air bubbles. The same method will now be used to install the first sheet membrane section. Start again in the completed corner and work towards the edge. Apply the adhesive to the surface of the wall with the 1/4 inch 4 mm square notch trowel. If the surface is uneven, use a square notch trowel with a wider tooth up to 3/8 of an inch or 6 mm. Apply liquid sealant on the overlapping areas along the top of the sealing tape and in the corner. Install the first track of sheet membrane. It may be easiest to unroll it up the wall. Be careful to maintain the distance of at least 1/4 inch 5 mm from the floor. Smooth the section of sealing membrane with a plain trowel or roller from the middle towards the outside edges to assure that no air is trapped underneath. Use short, firm strokes to press out all of the excess material and trapped air. Carefully remove or spread the excess sealant over the seams. Again, this will ensure that the system is airtight. The next track can be installed with a butt seam and sealing tape or with an overlap. If overlapping, remember to do so by at least 2 inches or 5 centimeters. Mark the sheet so it's guaranteed that this minimum is achieved. Apply the adhesive for the next sheet membrane section. Remember to coat the areas where the overlap will occur with liquid sealant. Roll the next track upwards, smoothing it as it is pressed into the adhesive. Be certain to leave at least 1/4 inch of space from the floor. If a bulge or crease appears during the unrolling, it's okay. Simply peel the section carefully away from the wall and reapply it so that it's flat. The section should always be well pressed. The use of a roller is recommended. Squeeze out any superfluous adhesive or sealant at the seams. Spread it uniformly down the seam. The remaining tracks can now be installed in this same manner. The large sections of sheet membrane should allow for the install to flow easily and more quickly. Even though the adhesive underneath the sheet membrane system requires an extended period of time to dry, tiling can begin immediately. There is no waiting for the product to dry. Simply apply thinset and begin mounting the tiles. It is recommended that seam tape be used for commercial or high-traffic environments. Abut the sealing membranes. Install the sealing tape over the seam. It should be wide enough to provide approximately 2 inches of overlap on both sides of the seam. For sealing around penetrations such as inlet pipes, use collars. These excellent solutions make sealing these critical areas simple. Apply the thinset around the inlet pipe area. Push the collar onto the pipe and flush against the wall. Do not pull the collar off after it's pushed on. The neck formed by the collar must extend outward along the pipe. Attempting to remove the collar could potentially damage it, so a tight seal cannot be guaranteed. A properly installed neck is shown here. Generously apply liquid sealant on the entirety of the collars. Extend past the end of the collars to guarantee that the seams are sealed. Use a circle cutter to make the holes for the inlet pipes in the sealing membrane if not already done. Place the sealing membrane on the wall, pressing the material into the sealant and adhesive. If the track is not in the proper location, it can be easily adjusted. As always, remove all excess material and any air bubbles. Now the floor can be sealed. Remember to follow all of the same steps. Use liquid sealant for the overlapping areas. Generously cover the floor with thinset. Roll out the sealing track from the corner out towards the edge. Continue with the adjoining sections until complete. Although the wall sections can be overlapped, it is recommended that the floor sections are abutted and a joint sealing tape is used. Follow the same technique described earlier to treat these seams. Generously spread the liquid sealant over the seam. Roll the sealing tape in place. It can be adjusted if necessary. Use the trowel to remove the superfluous sealant, leaving the area smooth and even. The final step in sealing the shower floor is to attend to the area around the drain. The following method has proven to be quite efficient and successful. First, measure the diameter of the drain. Use the circle cutter to make a hole in the floor collar and sealing membrane. Now apply the liquid sealant around the perimeter of the area. Check the manufacturer's recommendation to be sure that the sealant is approved for sealing around the drain. Then apply the sealant to the area around the drain. Apply thinset to the remaining surface around the drain area. Install the drain collar carefully. Press the collar evenly on the surface. Remove the excess material and all air pockets. Once installed, liberally coat the collar with more liquid sealant. Add the final prepared sealing membrane section to the drain assembly. Again, if necessary, it can be adjusted easily. Work the membrane into the material. Remove all air bubbles and excess material. Be very careful to make sure that this section is even and smooth. Treat the seams with liquid sealant and place the joint sealing tape over the seam. Remove the superfluous sealant by smoothing the tape from the middle out to the edges. Repeat these steps for the remaining seams. Solutions are also available for linear drain systems. As with the previous example, generously coat the area around the drain with liquid sealant. Lay the collar carefully, adjust if necessary, and press into place. Work out any trapped air and excess sealant. As always, apply more liquid sealant on the collar and cover the remaining substrate with thinset. Now, the final piece of sheet membrane can be laid. Smooth out, adjust, and remove all air bubbles from underneath the membrane. Here is the complete membrane system once more. The sealing membrane, preformed corners, finished wall collars for inlet pipes or other penetrations, and floor collars for both round and linear drains. Together, these components create a complete and effective watertight system.
Call 7200 45 9595 to speak to our waterproofing experts today.